Okay. I keep on pausing and unpausing it. That's my bad, gang. I'm gonna upload this as 3 different things. So yeah, this is part 3 of the little Orwell conversation. And also, the first one I talked about Orwell, and I talked about right to roam in Europe. What should I talk about this one? This would be cool. I've been saying this. It would be so easy, dude. Like a not that I want a war to happen. I never want a war. Whoa. Something that I'm stepping on is not stable. Not that I ever want a war to happen. Like I never want a new war to happen. I want existing ones to end. And I want the ones that are not happening to not happen. But if one ever did happen in like Canada, Quebec, like this island especially, will be so easy to defend. Cause also my arm probably looks weird. That's because I have it in the 0.5 filter. And I'm at the top now, I think. What is that? Sharif don't like it. Rock the gas ball, rock the gas ball. Sharif don't like it. Rock the gas ball, rock the gas ball. What was I talking about? Yeah, if a war happened, Quebec would be so easy to defend. It's like just hills and crap. So easy. But yeah. What should I talk about? I talked about that. I talked about other stuff. I'd ask you what you wanted me to talk about. And if you do want to talk about something, comment it. I reply to all of them. So if you commented, I will see it, and it will affect me personally. Oh, that's a bird. I thought I heard someone call my name. I'm like, okay. I was gonna say I'm schizophrenic, but I'm not, and so I'm not gonna pretend or even claim as a joke that I am. Because that's not good. But I just saw a salamander. I love salamanders. He disappeared, man. The salamander ran away. I love salamanders. I've only seen a few in real life. I've seen like 3, I think. And every time, best day of the week. But, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you ever comment something? I will see it. So, if you want to talk philosophy, you want to talk politics, say it to me. Yeah. Okay. I'm wearing my sweater in a weird way, and I kind of just want to put it on my bag. But yeah. What should I say now? Yeah. Also, I made this little guy out of a fishing lure. I took the hooks off, and then I got them hanging in the back by one of these clips. But I took the hook off the back and off here, because I have so many fishing lures, I do not need all of them. And so I put this little charm my mom got in Mexico on it, because it's supposed to go on the necklace, but I never wear it. So I might as well put it on here. And then I should put something on the little clip that's up here, but I don't have anything to put on it. I have a distinct lack of charms. If any of my friends, dude, charms or stickers, if you guys have extras, I'd love to have them. Also, washers. That's what I'm talking about now. I'm talking about washers. I love washers, like the little metal. Also, I'm sorry, my hair looks horrible because I haven't had a shower, like wash my hair in like a few days. And so now it's just greasy as hell. And it looks like dog shit. I say it's been a day and a half. But unless I'm like an hour out of the shower, my hair looks dog shit. But yeah, dude, this whole fucking tree is just that. How is this not falling? Look at that. Okay, it's a lot stronger than I thought it was. That's the second tree I've tried to push down that is actually remarkably more upright than I thought. Anyways, I love washers, like the little things that you put on the end of screws sometimes. I like bolts or nuts. Okay, sorry. No. Okay. I don't like nuts. I like the nuts you put at the ends of screws. That doesn't really, okay. Anything that goes on the end of a screw or a bolt, I love them. 'Cause they're fun. They're just cool little doodads. And I also like the tabs on pop cans. It's fun little metal junk I like collecting. And I don't have a collection. I just pick them up when I see them, and then they disappear. But, it does give me a lot of joy. So, if you've got any cool bolts or nuts, sorry, not bolts, shoot, man, I get nuts and bolts mixed up because of the nice, culinary, practice of making nuts and bolts with a ton of different cereals. Once again, not important. I'm making content for nobody. But yeah, if you've got any cool bolts, I did it again. Got any cool nuts? You got any cool washers? I'd love to compatriate in admiring such artifacts. I think it's fair to call them artifacts. I don't know where I'm going now, and I'm not quite sure where I am. Because I haven't been on this side of the cliff, or this side of the gorge, and so I'm just kind of improvising where I'd like to walk. What should I talk about? The Hegelian dialectic is maybe one of the hardest to understand and hardest to find resources on things I've ever learned about. So I'm going to try and explain it for you now. And it's a theory by George Hegel, early 19th, late 18th century. Sorry. No, I think I'm right. Yeah. Early 19th, late 18th century author. And it's and philosopher. It's a theory on how we develop self-consciousness and how the first people developed it. And it's not like a historical thing. It's just kind of an idea of how it might have happened. And it basically goes, there are two people who meet each other who crave to understand what they are. And that's what they crave, self-consciousness. They crave to understand what they are. And so Hegel says that, power is violence. So to give themselves identity, they fight each other, whether that be a physical or a metaphorical fight, to see which of them will be what, what comes out of that, and can it be used to identify one another. And in that fight, they end up identifying one another. The one who wins this fight is called the master, or in the original thing, the lord. And the one who loses is the slave, or in the original text, the bondsman. And so what kind of comes out of this dynamic of master and slave is that the master seems to be, hold more power in the dynamic because he's the master. So he basically he asserts himself over the slave, and in doing so becomes a master, and the master is actually unfulfilled because his only identity is being better than a person who he has deemed as lesser. So that doesn't really tell him what he is. So the theory goes that the master will crave an equal, and will crave to be to find someone who's just as powerful as him. And this doesn't work, because it's just a constant pursuit of more. But on the other hand, he does have the identity of the master. However, if we look at the slave seems to be worse off. Physically, the slave is worse off. The slave doesn't get any, and one of the things I was confused about when I first was looking at it was, spoilers, Hegel thinks the slave is better off because not only does the slave become more in tune with his world by kind of being told he's a lesser and then having to explain through the world and not through others how he is lesser. But he also holds, the slave also holds power over the only identity of the master, because the master is only the master because of him having a slave. And I think, that's interesting, but my issue with it was, okay, so is he saying slavery's good? And if so, I think we can plausibly say with a fairly good, degree of accuracy, say Hegel's crazy. But I don't think through greater examination of the dialectic that Hegel is saying slaves are better off than masters. Certainly, Hegel is saying that slaves, and also I don't know that much about Hegel. He's a German guy from he's like a German guy born in the 1700s, who died in the 19th century. He probably wasn't super against slaves. I don't know. This might be completely untrue. I'll probably fact check this and put it in the description when I get to upload this. But regardless of what Hegel's personal opinions were, what he's written, if Adolf Hitler wrote, okay, I don't even have to use Adolf Hitler. The Declaration of Independence says all men are born equal, like all men are born equal. But when they made it, the guys, the founding fathers had slaves. So even though they are either A, hypocrites, or B, just not the best people, even if that is true, they can express, they can write good stuff. I think most people agree, unless you're a racist, all men are born equal. This is another thing, this is kind of our topic. We will go back to the Hegelian dialectic, but, sometimes I'll use man in writing as just a general catch-all for humans. And I don't know if that's bad. Tell me what you guys think about it, because I feel like, not to be one of those people that's like, intent is more important than effect, because I don't think that's true. But I feel like it's not that big a deal. Maybe that's just because I'm a guy. Maybe, people agree with me. I don't know. Tell me what you think. But I think, everyone can agree everyone deserves to be equal. But I don't think everybody agrees with the founding fathers having slaves. So, the sun's coming out now. There it is. It's somewhere up there. I can't see that well. But yeah, I don't think what Hegel is writing is pro-slave. I think what he's written is pro-morality of the slave. I think he's definitely saying slaves are more morally superior than their masters. But I don't think he's saying, the master should keep having slaves because it's good for the slave. And if he is, that's crazy. But I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's kind of more generally saying the oppressed in society have a better understanding of themselves, so long as they're not identifying themselves through the lens of the master. Because I think that's something we do under capitalism, is we identify ourselves based on markers of capitalism. Whoa, I don't want to fall into the creek. We identify ourselves by using capitalist languages and principles and products. And I think that isn't something Hegel advocates for. I think what Hegel is saying is that the ruling class in a society, as long as they are unjustly ruling over someone and not just governing, but kind of manipulating and controlling others, as long as they're doing that, they will not have any proper idea of themselves. And I think that's it's cool. It's good theory, good stuff. Who knew? Hegel, cool as flip. I could have a nap right here.